when we believe that the milk of a cow, an animal, is sufficient to afford nutrition to a human body, then one has to question that, because I am not an animal.
Because it'll help me grow up big and strong. Milk's got stuff that's good for my bones and stuff that's good for my muscles.
That's right. For decades, ads like that one told us milk does a body good. But in our morning rounds, evidence it may be time to put down the glass. A new study raises a possibility, think about this, that high milk consumption may be linked with more bone fractures and a higher death rate. What?
Why do we drink milk? Should we even consider drinking milk? Dr. Sebi addresses that in this video. Milk is often seen as a powerhouse beverage, packed with essential nutrients like calcium, protein, and vitamins, making it a popular choice for people of all ages. It's been promoted as a staple for strong bones, growth, and overall health. But not everyone agrees with this idea. Dr. Sebi, a well-known herbalist and advocate of a plant-based diet, strongly advises against consuming milk. Why does Dr. Sebi warn us to avoid milk at all costs? In this video, we'll dive into his reasoning, exploring the potential drawbacks of dairy, its effects on the body, and why he believes it can do more harm than good. Stay tuned to learn more. But first, let's understand who Dr. Sebi is.
Dr. Sebi did not have to go through university systems once he realized that the knowledge was all around him, that he was walking over medicine.
Dr. Sebi's legacy is one of debate and fascination, shifting depending on who you ask. To some, he was a visionary healer, revered for his claims of curing serious diseases such as HIV/AIDS, cancer, and sickle cell anemia using natural remedies. His holistic approach, particularly the alkaline electric diet and herbal compounds, resonated with many seeking alternative paths to treat conditions like hypertension and diabetes. Dr. Sebi gained significant attention in the 1980s when he claimed in New York newspapers to have cured AIDS, leading to a high-profile legal battle. In 1987, he was charged with practicing medicine without a license.
But today, a Brooklyn man who masqueraded as a doctor has been arrested by the state attorney general.
Can you cure AIDS? I have cured AIDS many times, sir, and I can cure AIDS again and again.
But famously won the case, as his defense presented multiple patients who testified they were cured under his care. Despite this, he faced continued scrutiny, including a civil lawsuit from the New York Attorney General that barred him from making unsubstantiated therapeutic claims in the media. However, not everyone viewed him as a legitimate healer. Critics labeled him a fraud, arguing that his lack of formal medical education and unconventional methods were cause for skepticism. Some saw him more as a master storyteller, marketing his ideas effectively but without scientific backing. Dr. Sebi, born Alfredo Bowman in Honduras, did not claim to be a certified doctor by Western standards, but asserted that he cured himself of mental illness, obesity, and impotence using the same herbs and diet he prescribed to others. His views were often unconventional, such as declaring carrots an artificial vegetable, or his famous endorsement of sea moss as a cure-all. Even after his death in 2016, his influence persists, with many followers continuing to advocate for his natural healing methods. Whether seen as a groundbreaking herbalist or a controversial figure, Dr. Sebi's impact on alternative medicine remains significant. He set up a treatment center in Honduras, then moved his practice to New York City and Los Angeles. Numerous entertainment and acting celebrities were among his clients, including Michael Jackson, Lisa Left Eye Lopes, and John Travolta. So it's worth looking into what he is about consuming about milk.
Animals produces milk for animal babies. Human beings, women, females, produces milk for human babies.
Dr. Sebi challenges the common belief that cow's milk is suitable for human consumption by pointing out a fundamental distinction. Humans are not animals, and therefore, it doesn't make sense for them to rely on milk designed for animal offspring. In his view, it's common sense that animals, like cows, produce milk for their own species babies, while human mothers produce milk specifically for human babies. He argues that the idea of using milk from an animal to nourish the human body should be questioned, as it goes against the natural design of species-specific nutrition. By drawing attention to this, Dr. Sebi emphasizes his belief in a natural and plant-based diet that aligns more closely with human biology.
But something happened to us that we elect to do just the opposite. Instead of us giving our babies the milk of a female human, we elect and chose to give our children the milk of an animal. I think that if we are to be scientific, intelligent, and lowest on the strata, to use our common sense, is there something wrong with that?
Dr. Sebi highlights a critical shift in human behavior regarding nutrition, particularly the choice to give children cow's milk instead of human breast milk. He questions why humans, despite being capable of producing milk for their own babies, often choose to feed them the milk of an animal. Dr. Sebi believes that if we are to approach the issue with scientific reasoning, intelligence, and even basic common sense, this practice seems fundamentally flawed. He encourages people to reconsider this decision, implying that feeding human babies animal milk contradicts nature's design and raises important questions about health and logic, even more so when you consider this one fact shared by Dr. Sebi. Here, watch.
And then, to compound the problem, is that the animal that we selected to afford us this milk is an animal that was made through the process of hybridization, an animal that is godless. God did not make a cow. You see why we are titling this subject as the reconnection? How many of you sitting in the audience understood that or knew that?
Dr. Sebi goes further by stating that the problem is worsened by the fact that the animal humans have chosen to provide them with milk. The cow was created through hybridization. He claims that the cow is not a natural creation of God, implying that it's a man-made species, which makes you think even more about the ongoing concern of consuming its milk. Dr. Sebi also claimed that drinking cow's milk leads to the production of excess mucus in the body. While some might dismiss a bit of mucus as harmless, Dr. Sebi emphasized that mucus plays a significant role in the development of disease. According to his teachings, mucus buildup creates an environment where diseases can thrive, particularly in areas like the respiratory system.
The mucous membrane of our biological structure has been compromised, meaning that the mucous membrane has been broken. And wherever that break has taken place, would determine the disease that you would manifest. Like, for instance, like we always say, if the mucous membrane has been compromised in the nasal passage, it is what? Sinusitis. In the bronchial tubes, bronchitis. On the lungs, pneumonia. In the pancreas, diabetes. On the brain, schizophrenia, paranoia, or Parkinson's disease, insomnia, depending where the mucus is located.
Dr. Sebi begins by explaining that at the Usha Research Institute, he and his team wanted to understand the true nature of disease. He believed that disease is often misinterpreted, with medical practitioners compartmentalizing illnesses into different categories, such as diabetes, leukemia, or sickle cell anemia. However, Dr. Sebi argued that all diseases stem from the same source, the compromise of the mucous membrane in the body. According to Dr. Sebi, when the mucous membrane in any part of the body is damaged, it leads to the manifestation of various diseases depending on the location of the mucus buildup. For instance, mucus in the nasal passage causes sinusitis. In the bronchial tubes, it leads to bronchitis. In the lungs, it results in pneumonia. And in the pancreas, it causes diabetes. He emphasized that all diseases are essentially the same and are manifestations of one underlying issue, the breakdown of the mucous membrane. This realization led Dr. Sebi and his team to develop a holistic approach to healing, which involves treating the entire body rather than focusing on just one area. He called this process intracellular cleansing, which involves cleaning every cell in the body, not just targeting one organ or the colon, as some treatments do. This cleansing process is only the first step, as the body also needs to be revitalized with live electrical minerals such as phosphate of iron and calcium to restore the energy lost due to disease. Dr. Sebi emphasized the use of electric herbs like kalawala, contribo, cordon chilo negro, and pavana, which he believed were crucial for revitalizing the body because they are electrical in nature, just like the human body. He claimed that patients often felt the effects of these herbs within 24 hours, experiencing immediate improvements in their health. Through this approach of cleansing and revitalizing the body with electrical compounds, Dr. Sebi sought to restore balance and health to those suffering from various ailments. He believed that eliminating foods like cow's milk, which contribute to excess mucus, is key to maintaining health and preventing illness. This idea is central to his broader philosophy on disease prevention through diet. Dr. Sebi's view is echoed by Dr. Holly Phillips, who referenced a study suggesting that high milk consumption might actually be linked to an increased risk of fractured bones and a higher mortality rate. This finding challenges the long-standing belief that milk strengthens bones and promotes overall health. The study raises the possibility that the very thing we rely on for bone health could, in fact, contribute to more fractures and other health issues, aligning with Dr. Sebi's skepticism toward cow's milk as a nutritious choice for humans. Both perspectives emphasize the importance of rethinking conventional dietary habits for better health outcomes.
The mucous membrane of our biological structure has been compromised, meaning that the mucous membrane has been broken. And wherever that break has taken place, would determine the disease that you would manifest. Like, for instance, like we always say, if the mucous membrane has been compromised in the nasal passage, it is what? Sinusitis. In the bronchial tubes, bronchitis. On the lungs, pneumonia. In the pancreas, diabetes. On the brain, schizophrenia, paranoia, or Parkinson's disease, insomnia.
Dr. Holly Phillips discusses a surprising study indicating that high milk consumption might be linked to an increased risk of bone fractures and a higher mortality rate. Researchers in Sweden conducted a 20-year study with a large participant pool and found that women consuming 3 or more glasses of milk daily faced a greater risk of fractures, especially hip fractures, as well as a higher risk of death from various causes. This finding is particularly significant considering that current dietary guidelines recommend adults drink 3 cups of milk a day. Although the study does not establish a direct cause and effect relationship, the correlation it presents challenges conventional beliefs about milk being a crucial source of nutrition for bone health. It raises important questions about dietary recommendations and encourages a reevaluation of milk's role in our diets. So what could be the reason for this? What's the science behind it? In other words, is it related to vitamin D? Is it too much calcium that causes issues? The researchers propose that as our bodies process lactose in milk, it can create compounds that lead to inflammation in our blood vessels and something called oxidative stress in our cells. Both of these factors are linked to illnesses like heart disease and stroke, and they can negatively affect our bone health. This study specifically mentions the risks of consuming too much milk, suggesting that moderation is key. While it may be too early to completely dismiss the nutritional benefits of milk, this research is significant not just for its findings about dairy, but also for how it reflects the future of nutritional science. It's shifting the focus from just vitamins to how our bodies metabolize different foods. As for alternatives like almond vanilla milk, it can be a good option. And you can also get calcium from beans, nuts, and leafy greens. It's not all about cow's milk. Dr. Sebi has suggested an alkaline electric recipe for milk that people call hemp milk.
I make an alkaline hemp milk. And the items I'm using are on Dr. Sebi's nutritional guide. And they are spring water, hemp seed, sea salt, agave, and a teaspoon of coconut oil, and it gives it a richness to the milk.
Dr. Sebi's alkaline hemp milk is said to be a nutritious alternative aligned with his diet principles. To make it, blend 2 cups of spring water, 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds, a pinch of sea salt, 1/8 teaspoon, 2 tablespoons of agave syrup, and 1 teaspoon of coconut oil. Blend on high for 2 minutes until smooth, no straining needed. Pour into a glass and chill before serving. For a fun variation, blend in fresh strawberries for 30 seconds to create a kid-friendly strawberry version. That wraps up today's video on Dr. Sebi's take on milk and its alternatives. What do you think? Should we reconsider milk as part of our daily diet, or do you believe it still has a place? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Hit that bell icon to stay updated with our latest uploads. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.